If you want to create a second layer, a third layer, you can laser from those, but the layer that you're on is what's going to laser. So, all right, we'll go to layer 2. Again, grab the geometrical shapes up at the top left. With that, you can create, a star, a rectangle, a square, whatever. And we'll do the rectangle because obviously the piece is older. And while I am creating this shape, while you're holding the mouse button down, click on F2. And that's going to give you the option to make it the exact size you're wanting to. Much easier than trying to drag it to the exact inch mark that you want. So we want it 12 inches wide, 4.5 high. We'll go ahead and click yes. And now what we have is a black box. So to change that, again, we'll go to laser colors. Because the black box, typically we use the color black for anything we want to laser, like text and stuff like that. A lot of times when your files come set up, the red is always the outline. It's just kind of the color we use. It doesn't have to be. So what we're going to do is we'll change this to red by clicking on that. We don't want it filled in. And that's going to leave just basically a checkbox, but then we'll click right here, and that's going to make it a vector file where if we were to laser this actual box, the beam would follow out around, and it would not go back and forth. So now that we have that done, we'll move it to the top left of the screen, which is where you're always going to put the item. And we have our outline for what we want to work with. Another thing with layers here, if you want to just see what's on layer 1, see this check mark right here? That's only going to show what is on the layer that you're at. So to see that now, we'd have to go to layer 2. Typically we have this checked so you can also see the outline underneath. But if it helps you, if you just want to see what's on layer 1, go to layer 1 and click on that check mark. All right. Now to actually create whatever we want to vectorize, we'll go again to the symbol library. And we're going to do a little bit more of a simple image this time. This is just a single line. We'll bring that out. Again, it's black. So we'll go to the laser colors again, highlight that, and click on red. And already the red has been set to be a vector image. So we only have, this is very simple item. So now, if you want to put a logo on there, whatever you want to put on, text, we'll go ahead and do...
You're going to put some clip art or something?
Yes.
Anything.
We'll put a nice leaf on. Obviously, you can enlarge it. Something we've done with a lot of our products anymore, and I'm sure you've noticed that this doesn't really look good, but where you have designs that actually run off the edge, it gives it a really neat design. And you can do this very easily because it's just going to come around and it's going to cut that out. And you'll have some of it running off the edge, and you can do some really cool stuff doing that. So now, again, we add whatever text we want. Center it up. Do you guys know how to use your alignment tools?
I do.
Can you change the font?
Yes, absolutely. It's just like when you're making anything else. Again, the alignment tools, if you grab this for your base, and we'll click on whatever we want to center. This is the alignment tools. We want to center them horizontally, and it puts it centered there. And you're ready to go.
That's so good.
Is there any questions about this page? Russ?
What's the largest size you can use? 4x12.
5x12 is the biggest sheet of alder that we have, I believe. There's, I don't know. That's the biggest size that we have available. So, yes.
When you first started, you told it the size of your material. How does it know how big to make that name tag? Where did you tell it that?
That actually just grabbed and didn't make a specific size. Now what we can do, if you want to make it a specific size, you obviously can just grab it in the corner, enlarge or make it smaller. But if you do this, and again hit F2, it's a really handy tool. Say we want to make it 3 inches wide, we'll do this. As long as this is checked, it's going to keep the ratio the same. So you're not losing your proportion. Hit OK, and it's exactly 3 inches wide. Jerry in the back?
Yeah, how long does that take to cut out, and can you duplicate that and make more than one on that?
You can, yeah, it's very easily duplicated. The simplest way really is hit Control C, grab this and move it, and Control V.
How long would that take to cut out? Roughly.
We can run one.
Yeah.
See how long it takes.
And it's doing all of those at one time?
Yes, it can.
Oh, my goodness.
But we'll just do one. But yeah, you can. The reason you want to get your board size in there is so you can see exactly how many you can make, and you can optimize it. You're not just making one and then trying to fit the next one in the right place.
So you've not got any waste. Right.
Before we run it, let's go back again. Is there any more questions on this page? Then we'll go through the laser colors again, setting up the power and speed.
When you're vectoring and you're also lasering inside, does the machine do the lasering first and then go back and cut them out? Does it know to do that automatically, or do you have to set that up?
No, what it's actually going to do, that's kind of a quest for this side, but it's always going to do the color at the top first. So if you have something black, it's going to do the black first and then the red. If you had this flipped around where we made the inside, made this red and made the vector cut black, which you could do, then it would vector it first and then it would go back and laser it. So whatever.
But does that work once they're cut out? They'll still stay in place
yes,
if you laser them?
Absolutely.
But you're probably better off lasering them before you cut it out.
That's typically what we always do, yeah.
So it always does what's black first and what's red second?
Yes, whatever, the order that these colors come in is the order that it's going to engrave in.
So in actuality, could you cut, vector out that leaf so it wouldn't be lasered, but it would be actually cut out?
You actually could. And what we would do to do that is let's highlight the leaf, change it to red, and since it's a vector image, you would do that. The only problem with this is you're going to, this would fall off, this corner would fall off. But what we could do.
Right, okay.
But what you
But
could
made
do.
it smaller.
We can move the leaf down like this, and it would actually just cut this out, and you still have your whole name tag intact.
Okay.
You can do so many cool things as far as cutting out shapes and stuff. Do you have something, Steve?
You can change it to green and laser it at a different depth than
Yes,
the name.
absolutely. I've got our buggy file over here. This is the little magnet that we give out in Walnut Creek a lot. The red is, and this is actually wrong here, but the red will cut out the profile. But we don't want the horse and everything to be cut out. It's still a vector file where it's going to follow the contour, but we set that at like 50% speed, and then it just cuts it out as it goes around it. It's not going to actually burn through it. So that's a really good point, where if you wanted the leaf to be a vector, not filled in, but to be vectorized, you could do that, and then it would just go along the contour here, engrave that, but it wouldn't engrave through it. So,
But it'd give it some dimension.
yes. So, we just cut in a line. Go ahead, Paul.
Down at the bottom, would you just explain each button across the glass?
These? Absolutely.
A quick review across
Absolutely.
each one of those.
The first one here makes it a filled object. So if we uncheck this, you see the text has no fill in it at all. This adds a contour to it. So if you see, when we click that, it made PRAM done slightly bolder just by adding a little bit of a contour. Take it off, you can see the difference again. You can change the size of the contour here. If you want to make something really fat, obviously that's way too much there. You can do that, and you can make whatever you want, have just a little bit of an outline along the outside.
So is it like making it bold and wider?
In a way, but you can control it to any size that you want. And we can even do the same thing here with the green. Actually, we can't because it's a vector file, but if we rastered it, we could do that as well. So, and then again here, this is if you want it to be rastered instead of vectored. Sorry, if you want it to be vectored instead of rastered. And you're gonna have to help me on the dotted line, Joe.
Dotted line is just a representation of where something is. It will not engrave.
It'll never engrave.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you, I don't know,